Ladies and gentlemen, it is showtime. Please enjoy the show.
It's the corner where the treats at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you made it here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We got you.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfare.
Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Chief Concerns. I'm Marcus Dash. Right there on the right is our guy, former Chiefs tight end and legendary Chiefs tight end and Kentucky Pro Football Hall of Famer, our guy, Jason Dunn. JD, how are you doing, my man?
What's up, Marcus? What's going down, man? Got a little smile on my face. Man. I don't know if you seen it, but I sent out a tweet that I came down and I was a celebrity judge here in Lexington it was the big ass bourbon competition. I think is what it was.
Oh, okay.
Tasting. That's what it. And I had no idea this thing was going to be so massive as it is. So I had to wear my Kentucky shirt, the bourbon state, baby, in Kentucky.
That's
the
awesome.
bluegrass. Yes, sir. So got to rep that a little bit.
Were you the celebrity judge, or was it a bunch of celebrity judges, or were you the like the celebrity shot guy?
So there was a lot of judges in there. You know, they had, I guess, people had bought tickets to be judges, and one of our friends actually called me to be a celebrity judge for it as well. So it was good to see different people and, meet up with a lot of different people, all walks of life, really, that just enjoy a good bourbon. And they wanted to give their account of what they felt like the bourbon was and how tasty it was and what they felt was delectable and, all those different things. And I love me a good bourbon. I'm not a big drinker now, Marcus. I'm just not, so I hardly ever drink, actually, only on special occasions. But I kind of figure, I'm like, I'm going to have a little taste tonight, just a little,
Nice. Who ended up winning? When I was there, I think Laura and I went to the, man, I'm going to butcher this, the Wood something reserve. I forgot the name of it, the something reserve.
Woodford Reserve.
Yeah, that's where we went. We did a little tour there.
It's a nice place. That's a nice place.
It was really nice. Yeah, that was. I think it was the day of your wedding. I think it was early on in the morning. We kind of went over there.
Okay.
Got a few little drinks. Try it out, little taste tests.
Yeah. Okay.
Were they a part of it, or are they too big of a? Are they just too big?
No. The ones that were, I guess, that was in the judging. Man, I'm gonna mess this up. Maker's Mark was in. I think Bespoke was another one. Let me see, who else was it? The other two. Number one, I think it was round one was another one, and on the fourth one, I'm not sure. I can't remember what that was. But they were all pretty tasty, but man, that Maker's Mark is just 46. Whoo! Smooth, baby. It's silky, velvety smooth, like butter. And so, they got the good reputation anyway. But a lot of all of them actually were pretty decent bourbons, to be honest with you. So, but it's hard to beat that at Maker's Mark 46.
Yeah, Maker's Mark's one of the I would say probably one of the popular ones around here. I don't know if that's like a popular thing all around the country, but that's one that I see around here a lot in Virginia.
You want a Makers and Coke, man? That's what you get. It's a Makers and Coke. If you do a bourbon and Coke, usually you do Makers. You talk about Woodford Reserve, so you actually, to me at least, was probably one of the better bourbons that is as balanced as you could possibly get. My cousin from up New York, got to give a shout out to Kalon up there. He's like, "Oh, cuz, man, I'm having me a party over here at my crib, man. I'm just, bourbon and whatnot. What do you think I should get?" I said, "Man, I tell you what." I said, "Man, grab you a thing of Woodford Reserve." I said, "You can't go wrong with Woodford Reserve, man. It's like the thing that you could do with everything, whatever you want to make. old fashioned or just on the rocks, that's probably the best thing to go, you know. And we got some really good other ones around here, but it's something I wanted to just kind of keep simple, something that's really good, something that he would enjoy. People that don't drink a whole lot of bourbon, you got to take advantage of it. So
yeah, it was cool kind of going into the reserves to kind of see how they, you know, how they make things and whatnot. I've seen a lot of different products. I think I ended up buying it was a Woodford Reserve like bourbon honey, I believe it was.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I ended up buying that, bring it back to my folks as a little Kentucky keepsake.
Okay.
Something different, but that was cool. But yeah.
Yeah. So, man, look, everybody's in here saying, "What's up, JD? Have you had the 1792 bourbon?" JCP 4000. I have. Yes, I have. I do like that. It's very, very smooth bourbon. It's another one that's pretty well balanced. You can't go wrong with it. So I don't know if I'm a bourbon connoisseur. I like to think that because I'm from the state of Kentucky and I've had a lot of bourbon in my days, and I do know some good bourbon now. And I can put y'all some good ones. The 1792, man, JCP is absolutely a great one. It is, yeah. So let me say what's up to everybody here in the chat right now, Marcus, if I can. JC 4000, so good. Yes, it is, sir. J Pick, what's going down, man? G Pick, he agrees with me. Yeah, Mike Brennan, what's up, man? We talking about a little bourbon, man. A little bourbon tasting, brother, is what we talking about right now. Stanley Moonley, what's going on, man? Nothing like breaking that wax seal every now and then. There you go. That's sir. That's right. That's that Maker's Mark. He knows what he's talking about. Well, I like bourbon. When all of you cooking the bourbon mash, you can smell about 5 different distilleries. Sasha, yes. So Sasha, I know she's from Kentucky, I think, for sure. My favorite is Buffalo Trace. G Pick, it's a great one too. Man, y'all talking about my language right now. See who else we got in here. John Clifford, what's up, man? What's going down with you, brother? But don't do it often, but do it right, coach. Yes, sir. That's right. Oh, yeah. So we're gonna get into some good things, talking about GCP, talking about the tight ends. Nathaniel Walker, time for the best Chiefs show. Let's go. Yeah, my guy. Yes, sir. It is that time for sure. Will, what's going on, man? Getting a few reps on the bench. Keep it up, baby. Keep it up. You know, keep throwing up that weight. You know, we used to call them Cadillacs on the side. You know, you get the Cadillacs, man. Get them things going, man. Keep pushing it. It's always good for you. Andre Chanel, what's going on? Good evening to you. Hope you had a wonderful birthday with your granddaughter. So glad to see you tonight. Linda Hunter, how you doing? Cheese fitted. Whoop, whoop. What's going on, my guy? Good to see you, man. Oh, sweetie, what's up? Jason is getting into what? Well, I don't know what she's talking about. Word, chat. Oh, so Neff is on here, so they probably talking about me on something. Gen X or Ruthless. What's up, Justin Blackwell? All right. Neff, what's going down? What up, family? Word. What's going down, Neff? Always good seeing you. Good talking to you. Good seeing you last night, man. Love you, Neff. Well, got my heart, man. You know that. Laura Zingzer. How you doing, Laura? Good to see you, Laura. So I didn't get to see you last time, but I seen you at the end of the show. Good to see you, Laura. So, yeah, man. So we got a nice little crowd in here tonight, man. We're going to be talking some things. Lightweight. Yes, sir. Will. Hey, little bitch right now. So, yeah. Good deal, man. I
love that people use our show as like good like workout listen.
Yeah.
When I work out in the middle of the day, I'll catch up on like 76ers podcast or Chiefs podcast while I'm working out too. So it's good that we're part of that. We're asking people's workout listens. So I love that.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. I think we give them some good information and you know, we have some good conversation, you know, to kind of go and lift with. You know, I think if you pull up any of those you know, Friday night, you know, coaches, you know, talks that I give, it'll get you fired up, ready to go, man. I get you ready to run into a brick wall. So, yeah, man, go ahead and put us on, man, and turn us up. Tune in.
Just relax. Get your sets and get your reps in and listen to JD drop some knowledge on you.
Sir. Yes, sir. Shoot, I come in to motivate you to speak. Let's go. Push your weights. Let's go. Push that iron. Another rep. You got one more in you. Let's go. Come on. Sir. You got it.
Yeah. JCP, you guys need to collab with my other favorites, All Chief Dub. Yep, we do. We usually do an ACU Chief Concerns collab once a year or in the offseason, once every offseason. So we'll definitely get on that. JCP Mike said you checked up on him, Marks of the Flood. Yeah, of course. You know, he's a Kentucky guy, and you know we know all about that, and you know, so yeah, of course I checked up on Mike throughout the flood to make sure he was okay and his family was all right. So
Yeah,
that's what I do. That's what I do, man. Yeah. So obviously, there's a lot to go on tonight. We have a lot of sound bites from coaches, stuff that may have gotten lost in the fray over the last few weeks, last week, I would say. We're going to get into that. Before I saw JCP actually mention this question, JD, I don't know if you got a chance to see it. So the Chiefs made a roster move today. They ended up dropping Siaki Ika, the defensive tackle that actually, when Mike Pinnell was on our show about a couple months ago, he was praising him. He was talking about him pretty highly. But they cut him today, and they ended up signing, I'm going to kind of botch this guy's name. They ended up signing Kevin Folsch, Foelsch. Folsch is from the University of New Haven, a small school. Was on the Eagles practice squad in 2024. Then he was with the Panthers, and then he was with the Jets. Folsch, I mean, what is this, going into his second year in the NFL? So about 6'4", 250 pounds, appeared in 42 games over 4 seasons at New Haven, collecting 73 catches for 660 yards and 16 touchdowns. From what I read about it, it's another tight end, but apparently Trey Watson's banged up. Kelsey's not at mandatory or not at the minicamp so far. So they're kind of, they were kind of down bodies at tight end. So that's why that was what I read as far as the reason why he was picked up. Because they're kind of down bodies at tight end right now. JD, I mean, we see kind of roster movements happen at this point in the time, right? We're not even at mandatory minicamp yet. When you see guys get cut at this stage for reasons like this, as far as not having enough bodies in a certain position, is this a long-term thing, or is this kind of indictment on what we have in the tight end room as of right now, without Kelsey and without Trey Watson and without also Jared Wiley's also hasn't come back yet either. So it's another tight end who hasn't been participating in anything yet.
Okay. Well, yeah, let me see. Oh, with the JPC, he said, man, y'all real ones, man. Real recognized real, brother. He said he ran into me at the parade. I just want to give that shout out real quick. So, yeah. So we'll hi, man. We'll link up on a different time for sure, brother. The chaotic time for sure. Is it chaos as far as bringing a guy in, cutting I thought, man, the young defensive tackle was going to be here. I thought he was going to make it. But like you said, sometimes the bodies come in, you get a guy from New Haven, Connecticut. Yes, sir. If he could come in and give us something, shoot, he's here, man, to earn a spot. That's how it works. He didn't just come in, just to say, hey, I'm going to come in for a couple of weeks, and once your guys get back, I'm out of here. No, this is an opportunity for him. And each of those guys finds guys that was going to get an opportunity. Like you said, it was Eagles practice squad. Look, we know we got the connection up here in Philly. We know that, right? So we throw guys their way. They show us a couple of dudes too. So that's the way it is. But look, things change in the NFL real quick. It does. And especially when you're kind of low on guys, you don't want to wear guys out when they don't need to, especially during now where you're starting to go into, you got OTAs and then they got a mini camp and then you got to go into training camp. So, Tom is the tight end, banged up, get him back. So it's just all part of the deal, Marcus. It's just what it is, right? In NFL, when guys get hurt, you get a little short in that position group. You got to bring guys in, and you bring quality guys in. It's just not necessarily bodies, but you bring guys that's going to be able to challenge other guys for spots. So I don't know too much about this guy, but I like to see him and see what he's been able to do.
Yeah. I was just looking at his numbers here because I don't really know much about the guy. So we said 6'4", around 250. Ran a 4.6, 240.
Okay.
His low is a 4.62 and his high was a 4.73. 20-yard shuttle 4.53, 3-cone drill 7.5. Bench reps 21 and a vertical jump of a 33.
Vertical jump of 33.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, we just see what he's going to be able to do, man. See what he's going to be able to do.
Yeah. I wish the best for Siaki Ika. I know he's kind of bounced around the league a little bit. Guy who was a kind of an early pick, whatever, round 2, round 3 from Cleveland. And yeah, he's kind of gone around the league already. And Mike Pinnell was speaking highly of him when he came on our show a couple of months back. So I mean, it's it's interesting, it's just as NFL, man. Sometimes you think of guys who kind of not a lock, but think of guys who, no doubt at least going to make it to training camp. And here we are, June 11th, and he's cut today, to make room for somebody else.
Like, who was that? Andrew Chanel said, NFL, not for long. So that's how it works, man. And it's unfortunate guys get hurt, but it's just kind of the deal. That's part of the, the beast, right? The nature of the beast when we do that. Mike Brennan had a great question I want to ask. Can he block? That's the question. Can he block? So we're going to find out.
Yes.
His best thing is everybody talking about getting in the weight room, lifting weights. I hope his joke is doing that. To get him on a roster real quick.
Yep.
If you fold up defensive end linebackers, hey man, you make that your forte. Okay.
Yeah.
You will have a place here in the league. So
for sure. Melly Matrix, what's going on at DT? Chiefs released a guy today. That's what we were just talking about. Melly Siaki Ika just got released to make way for this tight end, Kevin Folsch. But like as far as DT though, like Fabian Lovett, Lott, Chris Jones, Pinnell, the dude we signed from Penn State, Izzard, I think his name is. Who else am I forgetting from the D tackle room?
I mean
FAU can play inside outside. Omen who can play inside outside, and we do have a lot. We have a lot of guys.
We do. We got bodies at defensive tackle for sure. And so the good thing is we also have guys that are versatile, right? Men who can go in and out. Mike Dana is another guy that we could utilize inside there. But yeah, we definitely got enough bodies at defensive tackle for sure right now. So we're looking for guys to be stellar. We know the guys that are stellar that's going to be able to come in. So we got a good group right there, Marcus. I think of the D line, especially got two young, hungry go-getters in Lott and Gelate. So that's going to add on to what we do.
It's interesting because we talked before the offseason. I believe your top two was DT and OT, right? And now we're sitting here in June. We've talked ad nauseum about our left tackle situation. We kind of like where we're at right there. And you talk about our D tackle spot. I mean, we just listed a bunch of guys that were right at the top right there. I mean, it looks like we kind of figured out that spot. Good amount of dudes. I mean, the Norman Lott signing or draft pick was great. You pair him with Pinnell, Chris Jones, and all the guys you just mentioned. I mean, that went from a weakness to kind of a strength in a way. When we talk about the versatility and the amount of guys we have there, it just shows you again the great job that Brett Veach has done this offseason. Yeah.
Stellar job. Will said these jokers in the NFL made in the laboratory, not human. There's some big guys out there. You know what? So, okay. Fun time. There's this question going around. You probably heard it. That people are talking about how would 100 men do against one gorilla, right? I'm sure you've heard this thing over and over again. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting there in my head, and I hear a lot of different people and different opinions on things. And I'm just like, you know what? Look, gorilla's strong, okay? Fierce. But you trying to tell me 100 men can't defeat one gorilla? If I had a 53-man roster in the NFL, that gorilla's dirt. I'm telling you. He's mince meat. I promise you that. And I would probably say the same things about like rugby and all those different ones too as well. Everybody's thinking a little bit too much into this. And it's the question is, hey, if what's the name of it, who's going to be the first one to go get it? Well, I'm like, shoot, if I had to be the first one to go in, whoever comes after me, you better win. If I sacrifice myself, you better daggone win, right? If the money's on the table, the food's on the table, you had to get this to survive. Sorry, gorilla. Sorry. So
I'll tell you what, forget 100 men. Give me JD, give me Willie Rofe, give me Brian Waters, give me Will Shields, give me T. Rich, give me Casey Wigman, give me all those guys. I'll take that bunch right there against one gorilla.
Absolutely. That man, look, 53-man roster I play with, we winning. Ain't no doubt. Heck, it might be 25 of us, and we come out with that dub. I'm telling you. And like we were saying, made in the laboratory, I'm talking to be some strong men. Now, gorilla strong. It's a gorilla. I ain't taking nothing away from the gorilla, right? It's going to be absolutely who's getting mauled. The first 5 guys they're gonna get the business. Okay, they're gonna get the business for sure. But after the end, it's just from just attrition, overtaking, like jumping on a sucker. I mean, it's after a while, sucker's gonna tire out, man. You know what I mean? Sucker, we ain't talking about King Kong. Everybody think we talk. Shoot, yeah, one bite can kill. Might get one, but I'm just telling you, like, if it had to be that those men against a gorilla, the man gonna come out every time, every once in a while. Now, you can't be one of those jokers that's gonna back up Marcus. You can't. You can't be no joker to watch the first 2 or 3 get mauled and thrown around, and then the rest of the other ones back up. You can't have that. You got to have men with heart and determination. Like, we're going to go hunt and kill. Yeah, the gorilla gets pancake. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt, man. I'm sorry. So I don't know what 100 men they talking about. I tell you what, 53-man roster that I done played with, mince meat. That's going to be a hairy ball that we put together. We're going to have that sucker running. Believe me. And so it ain't like you're just going to have him up in, you can't play, in his kingdom. Yeah, he can't be around like in the junk, where he can swing and shit. He can't do, where you be able to run.
Yeah, it has to be like a wrestling ring or something like that.
So something you can't just
controlled environment.
Yeah. Forget it. I'm telling you. Shoot. So, that's good. I just wanted to say that, man. We just sitting there talking things like that. But kind of going back to the point as far as like, we're going to have a great defensive line when it's all said and done with the guys that's going to be on the roster. The 53-man roster is looking good, Marcus. It is shaping up to look really, really good. I'm telling you. Somebody asked me today, said, man, how did the Chiefs look? I said, man, I'm telling you. I said, they hit it out the park with their draft picks. They did. The guys got in free agency just to come and just fortify what they're trying to do. It's going to be very hard, man, very difficult to beat the Chiefs. It's going to be a type team. And these guys are pissed off. Shoot, man, you better not. So Will says the roster is it is very balanced. So G-Pick, there are certain matches where the gorilla will win. Maybe, yeah. But I'm talking about 100 men that I know. Damn. Sorry. So it's good stuff.
JCP, what's up with Norman Lott? He still hasn't signed yet. They're a few $100,000 on the guarantee off, apparently. So I will say, at least he's participating. I mean, there's certain situations all around the league right now, like Shamar Stewart's not doing anything. He's there and he hasn't signed yet either. But at least Norman Lott is participating in stuff, which goes to show you they're not really far off on an agreement, right?
Yeah, and you could have different things that in order. Like, I know Lloyd's of London was one of the insurance companies that would insure guys if you gotten hurt to cover you for whatever you was worth, right? That was like one of the things you could do to get an insurance policy. But most guys are like, hey, man, we just do playing football. I can't think about getting hurt. But if I'm not doing too much, right, then I'm pretty sure the Chiefs and those guys would honor that. They would. If they didn't, man, I would be highly disappointed if somebody had gotten hurt and didn't participate and they didn't was like, well, we don't know what to tell you. What? Hold on, man. Like, it's in a bad taste, a bad precedent actually throughout the entire NFL. So
yeah, and that's what the Bengals are trying to do. They're doing I don't know if they're even doing damage control, but they have a lot of things going on over there. I mean, they're not paying Hendrickson. They were shady about paying T. Higgins. They end up doing it because kind of Burrow put a gun to their head. And then now Shamar Stewart, their first round pick, has not signed because they've kind of changed up their contract with him, which I guess in past first rounders they've had get more guaranteed money, but they're taking away it's a less guaranteed money, and I think we're talking a couple million too with Shamar Stewart, which is crazy, man.
It's crazy. And Richard Cooper says it right. Stewart hasn't signed because the Bungles are stupid. They don't want to play by the rules. Every other team does. Absolutely. Look, guys are slotted for a reason. You know what a guy's going to be making. The dude in front of you, the guy behind you, two guys before you. You know what guys are going to be making. And there's no reason are they playing this type of bad ball. It's bad ball right there. It's called that bad pool. Like, be fair, okay? Negotiations, be fair. You know what a guy's going to be getting at, man. So I just the Bengals in itself, I don't know, man. That's just silly. The silliness. There's no reason to do that.
Was that because I mean, obviously we know now, right? In years past, you've heard so many stories about how cheap the organization is. Carson Palmer even said, I remember when Burrow was coming out, I remember he said, if I'm a quarterback, I would not want to go there. I know how about that organization. Obviously, Burrow's been great since he's been there. Was that a kind of a stigma when you were playing like Cincinnati? Those guys don't pay nobody over there. Was that a stigma when you were playing for Cincinnati?
No, not really. Not really. Who did I hear? I didn't really hear too much about any bad things about teams. I just know like one of the places that I really didn't want to go was Green Bay and the Bills just because it got cold.
Wow.
That was it. And then Seattle was just so far away. So,
that's true.
So yeah, man, that was pretty much kind of my reasoning for those teams. Was like, I don't know if I won't go, but I mean, I've been fine wherever I went. It's like, so yeah, the Bengals, you could get a reputation real quick from guys who's been there and was like, look, you know what? They're not going to pay you. They're not going to do this, not going to do that. Patriots. I told you about the Patriots deal. If nobody's heard that story that I talked about my visit up there to the Patriots. Actually, that was the same year they won the when they first started their winning streak on things, winning Super Bowls. And wine me and dine me and Charlie Weiss. Charlie brings me in, man, butters me up, man. We go out to a nice restaurant, man. We eat steak, lobster, having a great old time. Charlie's talking about all the things he's going to be able to do with me in the offense. And, Jason, man, we're going to have this and that. I was just like, man, Charlie, I'm good with it. I'm good with it. So, yeah, man. He said, man, I love to have you, man. I've always liked your game, this and that, yada, yada. Okay, cool. And so we get to the table, the next day, all the physical, I passed everything. And I end up spoke to Bill. Bill was cool with everything, man. It was good. It was a great trip. It was a great trip. I thought like I was about to become a Patriot at the time, and got in and I spoke with the one that was here in Kansas City.
Man,
I don't know. I went blank on him, but
Scott Pioli.
Pioli. Yeah, Scott. And so Pioli actually knew my college quarterback. They was actually friends in high school, kind of grew up together and stuff. He's like, and he came down to EKU when I was playing, kind of party. He was like, yo, Jason, man, you remember me? I came down with old Crenshaw. I was like, yeah, okay, yeah. So we talking and stuff. Same thing, all the things you're going to be able to do with me. And again, he said, well, but we only got, this amount of money to sign you there and whatnot. And I was like, I did like I pushed back for the thing, stood up like, man, I appreciate the trip. Like, yeah, man, I'm like, I ain't doing this. And it was, they just, it's kind of like the deal, man, kind of Lowball City. They don't want to pay guys.
That was part of the Patriot way, right? That was
way. But no, they weren't really established just yet. That's what I was saying. They didn't have this one. They were really, just the beginning of it, just the beginning. But it was still it was a precedent that Bill has set. I think Bill wanted to know what he wanted to do with his teams and certain players. So yeah, I was out of there, bounced quick, get me on this plane. I'm heading home. So.
So then a few short years, that's kind of when everyone kind of knew Patriots and they lowball guys who were kind of like cheap with their offers and stuff. That became a thing. Yeah. And that became a thing. Like if you go to New England, you want to go there for a Super Bowl and then you get out of there. 1 year and one and done kind of thing.
Yeah. And look, they paid certain guys. Certain guys are going to get paid somewhat. I mean, he kind of lowballed Tom for all those years, right?
Hey, he took discounts, yeah.
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 We had Svitek on. Have we had Will Svitek? Has Svitek been on our show?
I don't think so.
Svitek played up there.
No,
we talked about it a little bit. He's got some good stories too about.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
We've had a good amount of O linemen on the show. Jordan Black, Willie Rofe, what's his name? Chris Bober.
Bobes. Yep.
Yeah.
We didn't have Will.
Nah, we haven't had him yet. No.
Okay. You know how you get on here. I didn't get Big Shields on here, man. Big Waters.
Yeah, Brian Waters. That's Shields does a lot. I mean, I would love to have Shields on as well, but Brian Waters is a guy you don't see from often. You don't hear from him often.
He stays out the way. He stays real quiet, man. You know, he dub, man. It's good people, man.
Yeah, love to have both those guys on.
Yeah. Retired came in. What's up, Retired? He said late, clean out the garage. It's okay, Retired. You came in right on time, brother. All right, good seeing him. Glad you're here. Richard Cooper in the house. Hearts and Roses is here. So yeah. No, it's good.
So tonight we're gonna have a kind of talk about some of the things that have been going on the last few weeks at OTAs. Before that, I did want to give a shout out. I think on Monday, we were 90 something away from 10,000. Right now, we are 73 away from 10,000 subscribers. So hopefully, you guys tell your friends, your neighbors, your family members, your group chats, or your family group chats, your friends. Tell them to subscribe to the channel, and hopefully by the time we meet again on Monday, we'll be at 10,000 subscribers, and we can all celebrate that together. So again, guys, this is not just us; this is family. So we're celebrating this because the 10K is not our 10K; it's our 10K. The entire everybody, you guys are all part of it, and it's great. So let's get to it, baby.
Yeah, man, we're just gonna keep growing our family. Keep growing our family, man. It's a great time over here in Chiefs Concerns. It's a great time, y'all. Let everybody know, okay? Shout it through the rafters and everybody else. Tell them from the back, all right? Come and check it out over here at Chiefs Concerns, you know? Is 3131. Appreciate it. Tell everyone in the chats. There you go. Appreciate you. Keep doing that. You know, it's working. Nana Sherry is here. What's up, Nana Sherry? Good to see you, too.
Grab your kids' phones, subscribe on their YouTube accounts on their phones. Let's get to 10K, baby. All right, so let's just kind of dig in here, JD. So, we talk about a lot of positions and a lot of people who may be tuning in for the first time or listening for the first time. JD was not only a tight end, JD was also a special teams coach. So JD has obviously JD has a lot to say, but a lot of things within the NFL world and the entire everything. But special teams, that's one of his fortes here. So he's not just a tight end; he's a special teams coach as well. It's also among the many hats JD wears. Special teams coach is one of them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So a new look could be coming to the Chiefs punter room this year, and maybe a third year in a row. Go from Townsend to Araiza to this new guy. But special teams coach Dave Toub didn't mince words on the competition going on for the Chiefs punter job, and it is real.
Really?
So after Matt Araiza's kind of up and down season, I would say roller coaster of a year, booming bombs, but very shaky accuracy. KC brought in USC standout Eddie Czaplicki, the guy that I was a big fan of. We were talking about doing the UDFA. It's a sneaky, one of our best pickups. Ray Guy Award winner. He was the overall standout. And this is a guy that I said I think has a shot to take over our guy Araiza's job. And hearing Dave Toub talk about it, sounds like he's got. I don't know if the coaches play favorites, JD, but we'll talk about it on the other after the soundbite. It seems like Dave Toub's got a favorite in the punter room. We'll listen to what Dave Toub has to say about the punt battle going on here.
Okay. We're looking for him. He's got a bomb of a leg. He can hit the ball long. We need more hang time on his punts, more vertical power, and then we need more accuracy in the pooch area, which is getting balls inside the 20. Yeah, getting inside the 20. So that's what he's really emphasizing, during this offseason. He's an NFL punter. Again, this would be the third time we had this. We had it with Jack Fox, we had it with Raquel, and we have it again because both of these guys are NFL caliber guys, and it's the competition is real. So Eddie's doing a great job at this point.
You put the new guy in that category, the Jack Fox.
I would. Recount. Yeah, I mean, I know it's early, but he's very talented. He got hurt late in the year in college. He was the Ray Guy winner. Last year. So he got hurt late in the year, and he kind of slipped and didn't get drafted. And we we pounced. Those guys did a great job of getting him in our building, and and we've had the history of developing guys and those guys moving on. So that helped us too, be able to get a free agent that that has the caliber that he is.
Wow.
So yeah, right. It kind of stands out to you right there. Because the first part of that soundbite was him talking about what Araiza needs to fix this year, and the second part of that soundbite was obviously Czaplicki. But JD, based on what you've seen from Araiza and based on what you heard from Dave Toub, is Matt Araiza truly the best option for the Chiefs going forward, or is Czaplicki's consistency and poise enough to unseat the punt god? Based on what you saw from Dave Toub right there.
Well, I think Dave is just reiterating that this is a real competition going on. And so some of the things that Araiza might have been lacking last year was consistency, okay, ball placement, like saying getting down inside of the 20, but he also say getting the ball vertical, also too, we're talking about hang time. So we're talking about field position and we're talking about coverage, which is very important. It's very important because it dictates what you're going to do, against defense-wise. And you want to be able to pin a team back. There's no sense getting out there and punting and all of a sudden to get it on, the 20 and coming out and do. You don't want guys doing that. Okay, you want guys to get down there and cover so they can sit there right there on the goal line and protect. Okay, the end zone. But if this young guy, how you say his last name? Czaplicki?
Czaplicki.
Okay. Czaplicki. All right. Is everything that he's talking about, man. I mean, this is a rave review, from Dave, and that's not going to be easy for him. He's seen a lot. And when he's sitting there saying it's a real competition, Araiza better watch out, because if this young buck right here, man, if he's putting it where he needs to, it ain't gonna cost a whole lot of money either, and he's consistent, man, why not? Ray Guy winner. He put him in all these different categories. I'm like, wait a minute, you already? That's high praise. That's high praise on a young guy like that. So look, it's NFL. Like we said it's not for long, and they're always trying to replace you. That's the way it works, Marcus. And so we're gonna see during camp. I can remember certain camp battles between kickers. Those things are always fun. It is. Those jokers are very competitive as well, man. I mean, they're we're talking about a very particular skill set, and it's not something that you can sneeze at. I mean, this is something that needs to be respected for what they do. And I know this just being a special teams coach, just getting the ball out there, the timing of it, the kick coming off your foot, there's a lot there. But if Czaplicki, right?
Czaplicki, yeah.
Czaplicki is putting it where he needs to. Hey, man, you can unseat the punt guy.
Czaplicki can kicky.
Czaplicki can kicky. Yeah. So now this is real. It's real.
I mean, because usually, like when we listen to some of these coaches talk, and I say, JD, can you kind of like read through the coach speak there? Like when you listen to Dave Toub speak, it's like you don't need to kind of read through that. It's pretty obvious. Like he was like excited talking about him, which is interesting. And also too, even like obviously Ray Guy Award is a big time award given to punters. But like, and obviously he's a special teams coach, so like that he loves that. But like, not often you hear like coaches or positional coaches talking about an award a guy won in college. Like you never hear a guy. I don't hear often where guys go, he was the Butkus Award winner or the Blitnikoff Award winner. You don't usually hear positional coaches even talk about that stuff. The fact that he referenced it, and also, I mean, like the numbers are what the numbers are. I mean, like obviously it's college, but punting is one of those things where it's like the way you punt, right? I mean, that's just something that kind of like carries over. Obviously, it's a little faster in the NFL, but still, like punting it. I mean, his numbers here, like we talked about it on when we first signed up, but just going back, 25 of his punts were inside the 20, 10 of the punts were inside the 10, 4 inside the 5, and only recorded 1 touchback the entire season. And this is a team that punted a lot. USC was not good last year.
Yeah. Wow. It's pretty good. What did he average?
He averaged 47.8 yards on 43 punts, totaling 2,057 yards.
Okay, 47.8.
47.8 was his average.
Okay.
And the punt count was 48.8 last year, if you want to compare the two.
Yeah. But even with that, the average on that, it all just still depends on accuracy. We talking about coffin kicks inside, bouncing it back, putting a little English on it. You know what I mean? Like that, all those things matter, especially like hang time too. So your average, if you're keeping guys from returning the football and you're getting down and you're covering, man, I'll give up that. What is that, yard and a half or something? Yard point? Yeah, shoot, that ain't nothing. Go ahead and do that.
And looking at, so Araiza had 4 touchbacks in the postseason alone, 2 in the Super Bowl, 9 in the regular season as far as touchbacks. So he was kind of what Coach Toub was talking about, the things he wanted him to improve on, and that's something that just based on Czaplicki's college history, doesn't seem like that's not really his thing, right? Only 1 last year, only 1 touchback. So it's funny because like the one's got the accuracy, it seems like, and the other one's got the it's kind of a battle between accuracy versus power. That's what seems like kind of the battle is here between the two. And as far as a special teams coach, power doesn't mean much if you're not going to be accurate with it, or is it? Obviously you have to find a kind of a happy medium between the two. But as far as if you were to choose between an accuracy or a strong, legged punter, where would you kind of go?
Accuracy. Obviously, all those guys are going to have strong legs. I don't think any punter's not going to have a strong leg, especially if you're going to be in the NFL. Let's just be real with that. So if he's added on with the accuracy of it, that gives him somewhat of a leg up, pun intended. And so you had to think about, like I said, the same thing, like field position. It's coverage. It's about pinning teams back. And if a guy is more consistent in doing that, look, special team coaches, they love their guys. They love all the punters and kickers. They love each and every one of those dudes. But they have no problem, like anybody else, of moving on from a guy. And he's saying this, Dave is saying it loud and clear, like, hey, man, it's some real competition. Do not get comfortable. So whatever you thought you did, and, and the reason was off because he had that whole deal that was happening with him, right? And so, maybe he was just a little rusty from not kicking like he should have been. Who knows? But either way, this young guy, Czaplicki, or C-Zap, as what's the name is calling him, he's making a run for it. And I think really, Marcus, when you do say Ray Guy Award and Bolitnikov and Buckus, it's because you want to. That's validity. You want to validate. That's validation on who a guy is. So he's like, hey, you know this guy was a such and such winner, right? And so this is he didn't get this award because he looks good and he dances well. It's because the sucker is official. So you got to realize, man, that these things matter, especially like you were talking about in the playoffs. Like, hey, we ain't looking to get the ball up like that. We want pin jokers. We're going to make it harder for them. And it puts us in a better position. Because then all of a sudden what you do is it all dictates what you're going to do defensively. How are you going to bring pressure and all those different things, right? So it opens everything else up. But now that's a real battle right there, man. It's a real battle. So
that might be one of the top battles of the training camp is the Punt Battle, which is going to be interesting, right? The Punt God versus the Ray Guy Award winner, which is interesting duo. Someone mentioned this too. This is also, I'm curious. I want to see through the mind of a special teams coach. So we're talking about what they can do punting the ball, right? Power, leg, or the accuracy. But one thing that Araiza showed last year was guy's not timid at all. That guy was putting his head down, going to make some good thumps out there. I mean, we see punters usually get dominated or steamrolled. He went out there a few times last year, laid a lick. Is that something that kind of goes? Is Toub even looking at that at all? Like how much he's willing to go out there and make a tackle, or is he like, no, you have one job and it's to pin this defense back, or pin the offense back. I don't care. I don't really care about you making tackles. I mean, I want you to.
Well, I'll say this, man. Shoot, if you get to the kicker, something done went wrong. Something went wrong. And bravo making the tackle and getting the hit, but was that your fault? Did you outkick the coverage? Or did you not put it where, the guys get down there and in position to cover their lanes? So you're just covering your tail, making the tackle. You might have been a problem. And if not, it's the coverage. So then we had to get on those guys too. So yeah, no, it's a plus. Absolutely, if a guy can make a tackle. You don't want no dude that's not going, he's whipping if a guy comes back. Or we watched, who was that, tore his ACL because somebody cut back on him. I forgot what it was in a game. He did that to a kicker. Ended up tearing his ACL, his meniscus, and because the dude, put a move on it. So you want a guy who's a little bit athletic. So I don't know, Czaplicki, if he's, a guy that can do all those different things and come down, sure, you might take it into account. But that, like I said, Marcus, a reason going down doing that, it might have been his problem. That might have been his fault. He might have created it. So
interesting. Yeah, see, that's you see things that we don't see as a special teams coach. Your mind goes to certain places with that. We see it. Oh man, our partner can lay a thump, but actually, like, okay, well, why is he making that tackle?
Yeah, everybody getting up. Yeah, man, get hit. I'm like just looking at the sucker, like, man, get down it. What are you talking? We wanted to go to the right side, right corner. That's where the coverage was going. Oh, I'm sorry, Cole. Yeah, you sorry. You better make that tackle. If you're not, we was replacing you the next day. You was out of here. So it happens like that, man. It happens. Seriously. Was it Grammatica? Yeah, he got hurt celebrating. Remember him jumping up and down? And yeah.
I looked up kicker tears ACL on a tackle. The first thing that came up was Nate Kading when Percy Harvin returned it on him back in the day.
Yeah. Oh, that's nasty. Oh, shoot. It looked like he got shot after, like sniper hit him. Bow.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, man. It's crazy stuff, man.
So
Stu's in the hospital. Stu, get well,
no.
brother. That's what he said. So,
Stu,
well,
sorry,
Stu.
buddy.
Doing all right. Yeah.
Send our love to you, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Tell Mike Allstott to come out there and come knock on your door.
Yeah. Yeah, Baker will deliver some donuts to you, buddy. Our guy Baker will show up.
Yeah. Just like when I was a punter, I'd be the first one downfield. I do miss hitting people with full pads on. You could do that back in the day, but now them jokers so fast, man. They are hauling tail to get down there.
Mm-hmm.
If you beat some of those jokers right there after you kick the ball, then we probably need to replace some of the coverage guys. So,
Jay, when I made the comment earlier about how punting is one of those things that, like, how much different is punting in the NFL versus college? Like the speed of it. I mean, how much adjustment is there?
Oh man, so you're talking about, the whole transaction is like guys got to know it's going to be a lot quicker. Okay. And you do have to be accurate. You just can't be anywhere. Hang time is very important. Like all the things Dave is talking about are very important. It's vital to what you do. So, in college, you could probably kick the ball down, and get a subpar coverage team and do what you need to do. Or maybe some guys may not even take the chance and opportunity to return one. So you're going to have a big difference right there. But it is about how good a guy is. So if this guy was rated the top punter in college, come on, man. We might see a changing of the guard, brother.
I know, and the fact that Toub not only praised Czaplicki, but he praised our front office for going out and getting him. So we got the best punter in college last year, Ray Guy Award winner, and kudos to the staff to go out and get him. It's like, whoa! It's like, Toub, did you have him circled on your must draft or something?
Right. Well, I mean, look, everybody has a say. They do. And so, they asked Dave, like, what do you think about him, special teams wise? He's going to give his account. And especially if, I think I was looking at, I think Araiza was like 12th or something as far as punters in the NFL, which is not bad. It's not. I mean, 12. But maybe he's sitting there having to stand there like, man, we trying to be fifth or top three. And if this young buck could come in and kind of do those things, shoot.
Do you have an early betting favorite on this? If you had to make a bet between the two, does Toub's the way Toub sound off about Czaplicki? Does that say you might be higher than many think?
Hey man, he could like him. I'm gonna love him, but that sucker might come out and lay an egg. That sucker might become Shanks McGee all of a sudden. We don't know that. Shanks, look at Shanks over there. No, so we just had to see. I had to see him practice and see how the battle was going. So I love to hear it. Love to hear it.
Yeah, Rich Cooper says, Toub was in on this kid by the way he talked about him. Could be a really interesting battle. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then, money factor comes in. I don't know what Araiza's making, but, it might come in too. He probably not making a whole lot of money, but, I
think it's a little more than what Czaplicki's making as a UDFA. If I had to make a guess on that.
Hey, look. Hey, they try to sign folks, right? Trey Smith ain't in practice, and they like, let me see. Let's cut some of the meat off over here. Some of the fat. Let's cut some of the fat over here. So
yeah, so let's say a few shekels for for Trey Smith's contract. Yeah, and also too, I think Spags, the same press conference, made a comment about because it was the same day Colquitt came in to do one last punt, and Spags was like, yeah, he landed one right inside the 5, and it's like, oh, the theme of staying within the 20.
And they all did like his turn, looking at Reezy like.
The whole team at the staff is thinking it.
Oh yeah. Oh, hell of a punt right there, Dustin. DC, good job. Wow. Why did he come out of retirement? And I know it's like it was heated. He Reezy up back there steaming like. Shut up.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great competition between the two of them. Obviously, I know punt's not the sexiest thing, but it's gonna be. I mean, like you said, it
Marcus, it's nothing. It is. So that's the reality. So
100%. Yeah, and I think Raycal, the guy they mentioned that we had last year's camp. I think he was the one who competed with Araiza. I think he was, if I'm not mistaken, he was one of the best punters in the league last year. But was it Cincinnati, I believe?
Yeah,
Raycal, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, from BYU. He was the BYU punter that competed with Araiza last year.
Yeah.
I don't know where he ranked, but Raycal, like Rekhow.
Yeah, Raycal. Yeah, he was just one ahead of him. I'm looking at it right now. I had to pull up.
Oh, he one ahead of Araiza?
Yeah, just one ahead of him.
Interesting.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, so we're going to stick in the special.
Just continues.
Whoops, never mind. We're going to stick in the special teams room, so you're going to see that soundbite in a second. So Chiefs special teams coach Dave Toub. It's a Dave Toub episode, guys. He recently called Xavier Worthy, quote, the best punt returner nobody knows about. This is a surprise considering his rise in the offense, him talking about Xavier Worthy in the special teams context. He also raved about Nico Remigio, while also mentioning one of our favorite rookies, Brashard Smith, i.e. the Alvin Kamara 2.0, according to Louis Riddick. But he mentioned Brashard Smith's top-end speed, addressing all the options that we have for the punt return position. So here is Dave Toub talking about our weapons in the return game as far as punt return.
Remigio just continues to get better, and he's gonna be a hard guy to beat out. He doesn't have that dynamic, Brashard Smith top end speed, but he brings so much other things to the table as far as his ball reads, his catching on the run, his instincts of how close somebody is to him, where you can time it up and beat him with just his catching ability, alone. So, and he just keeps getting better, So it's going to be a great battle at that punt return spot. But like I said, Brashard is a guy that's going to be in the mix. Worthy will be in the mix. Now, if you remember, Worthy, he was going to be our guy. He planned on being our guy until Rashee Rice got hurt. And that changed everything for that dynamic. He ended up being the number one for us last year, so we couldn't afford to have him back there. Now I say he's the best punt returner nobody knows about right now in the league, and that's Worthy. So hopefully we get him back there too.
So JD, obviously interesting because, right? I mean, Xavier Worthy became one of our top receiving options, and I mean, I think it's kind of his role in the offense is only going to expand and grow. He mentions Worthy there, but is it much more than that? Would you think we will see Xavier Worthy in there because of his role on offense? He might not play. I mean, it's weird that he's even mentioning him just based on his role might grow, but also too. He talked about Nico Remigio, kind of much like he talked about Eddie Czaplicki. He kind of raved about Nico Remigio. But then you also mentioned Brashard Smith here. How do you think this whole thing's going to play out? And realistically, do you think Andy Reid's going to allow Xavier Worthy to be on punt return?
Oh, man. I don't know. Look, listen, Dave could say whatever he wants to say, who he wants to have back there. Look, Xavier Worthy is one of the fastest in the NFL, period, right? The fastest, right now. It would be a dream come true to have a guy like that. But I don't know if Andy and those guys are going to let that happen. Like, hey, man, look, you might have to find somebody else. Now, in the pinch, sure, you might want to be able to utilize him. And it's all about, guys staying healthy. I think you might give him a shot. Sometimes you need to make a play. Throw a guy back there. So it's good to go ahead and get him a lot of reps and stuff now in OTAs and mini camps. There's nothing wrong. There's no harm in that. No harm in that whatsoever. So let's just say somebody's not available and we got enough as far as what we want to do with Hollywood Brown, Rashee Rice, and other guys are out there playing. It's like, hey, you know what? Let X get back here, return one. Okay? The road runner. Let that joker catch the ball and let him get up through. And that means everybody's got a block for this guy. Make sure he's not taking no unnecessary hits. So, is that on his wish list? Is Christmas coming early for Dave? Maybe. So I know that's what's on his wish list for sure. He wants that to be on his tree, Marcus. We just don't know if any of those guys will allow something like that. Just because he is a valuable piece than what we do offensively, especially a wide receiver as a weapon. So. You just got to manage it, I guess, right?
Well, it's one of those things too, right? When Tyreek Hill's first year or two, first few years in the league, right before he became the guy, even it's like his second year after he dominated his first year, they still used him at punt return. There wasn't until like when they got another weapon like McCole Hardman, that's like, okay, we don't need to use Tyreek. And I think Tyreek was still utilized sparingly if like we were down in a game and need a big return, need a jolt. They put him back there. So I think maybe they'll use him that way. I mean, that's kind of how that's why I think they should use him, especially because I think now that Sherry says it here, Hollywood went down in preseason last year. Rashee Rice goes down in week 2. I think they want to kind of keep the guys who are going to be pivotal guys in the offense as healthy as possible by not playing them on special teams. They don't have to play. Don't do it. So that's kind of where I am. Unless we need a big return at the end of a game, then you put them back there. Otherwise, kind of roll with 81 back there or whoever.
Okay. So, let's talk about that. First, let me give a shout out to Matthew Crespo. Say, hey, guys, I'm here with Stewart in Tampa General Hospital, Tampa, Florida, visiting him. First time listening. The show's great. Appreciate it, Matthew. Thanks for visiting our brother. And, make sure you take care of school, you visiting and taking care of my guy. He's always good. So let's get into that conversation. When McCole Hardman was here, McCole Hardman is probably one of the top 3 receivers on our team, and we utilized him at that position. So that is definitely doable. I think everybody's always worried about X and his size. It's one of the things, right? Can he take the hits? Is that something that was he's shown that. That sucker's all muscle. He might be thin, but that sucker is muscle, every bit of him. And so I would think that it's advantageous to utilize a guy like, Xavier Worthy in certain points. Like, why not? If like I said, if you need a play, sure, let him be the guy. I know everybody's saying Nico Remigio, but man, Nico may not get a spot on the roster. We would like for him to. We know he's worked hard to earn everything he's done. But things change. They do. And so if they're sitting over here picking and choosing, like, well, who's going to be the 7 receivers, right? Or did we keep 6 or 7? Who's going to be the guys? Is Nico, doing enough to warrant being at that position? I like Nico. I like him a lot. Nico can do a lot of different things with the football, make guys miss, in small spaces. But Xavier Worthy has world-class speed that nobody else can do. And McCall was not a dynamic X at a receiver. X was good because we did a lot of different things with him. He's versatile. Nicole was versatile. It was versatility. But I would say that Rashid Rice and Hollywood Brown are Xavier Worthy still has to prove that he's as good as receivers as those guys, right? We've seen, Hollywood Brown have 1,000 yards and, ton of catches. Rashid Rice, same thing. We know Xavier Worthy's that good. We know that. So why not utilize him in other ways, right? Because of the versatility. We use him on reverses, right? Use him on screens. So this is just another way that you could utilize a guy like this. And I'm not opposed to it. I don't know if Andy will be opposed to it or not. Just kind of think about it, Marcus, because like I said, McCole Hardman, McCole might not have caught that many balls, but when he was out there to catch balls, he did it. He was doing other things. And that's what this offense is looking for. We're looking for guys like that have that type of ability, athletic ability. So I don't think it's far-fetched. I don't. What do you say?
I would say you bring up a really good point as far as when McCall Hardman was here, he was kind of the X. And I mean, just kind of look at the 3. So yeah, Sammy Watkins at the time. Rashid Rice is the Sammy Watkins. I would say Rashid Rice is a better version of what Sammy Watkins was at that point in his career. Tyreek Hill, Hollywood Brown. Hollywood's to a lesser extent Tyreek Hill. Well, he's not Tyreek Hill, but he would be the Tyreek Hill, I would say.
Yeah.
And then Xavier Worthy, McCall Hardman, probably a better version of McCall Hardman. But I do see the point there as him being the partner. He's only his second year. And again, if we're misreading this, right, we go into the season and he's kind of the number 1, 2, then I would say, 100% keep him away. If he's a big part of the offense as far as being your number 1 or number 2, not as your number 3 receiver, and Hollywood becomes more of that number 3 guy, then sure, don't put him back there unless we need a big jolt at the end of the game to get us in good field position on the punt. Then you put him back there. Like you said, I think situationally, I think is where he needs to be played punt return. Not axe it all together, but situationally put him back there. I don't think you and I are asking to be the main punt returner all season long.
And I think Andy loves having that ability, where he can throw a guy like that in and go make a play. Like, going back here, let's see what he's going to be able to do, right? I think this is what's so fun for Andy, to have those type of weapons and fast guys all around you. And now we got another guy in Jalen Royals too, Marcus, who could take some of the pressure and the brunt of some of those catches. Now, X, because he's a competitor, wants the ball in his hand all the time. We'd be silly not to. So every opportunity we have to get the ball in X's hand, let's do it. So if one of them is returning, why not? Why not?
What did you make of what he said about Nico? Obviously, you said Nico did a great job last year, but he said he was raving about him. He kind of talked about pretty much described your ideal instinctual punt return that you want.
Yeah,
what do you think of what Toub said about him, and what is your overall opinion on how you saw Remigio last year?
I think Nico, man, like I said, man, he's a hard worker. He's a very talented guy. He's very elusive. He is a return guy. No question about it. He's a return guy. For Nico Remigio, he keeps climbing up the ladder. I want him to be in that 5 wide receiver category. I want you to be top 5, Nico. You don't necessarily have to be, but I love to see even more from you, right? As opposed just to returns. Like, yeah, we get you a little bit, a couple of couple of bones thrown to you here and there in the offense, sure. But if this is going to be like his specialty and we want to use a roster position for that and knowing he's a very solid guy, consistent guy, it's like, hey, if Nico is not doing the return, he could be playing offense, right? I think it's pretty much how it works. So you got to see that he's a guy that's capable of coming in and doing all that, the volume if you needed to throw the ball to him, and he can. So I'm not opposed to that at all. I'm not. So,
yeah, I think you bring up a good point as far as because like you mentioned, we have Jalen Royals now. That receiver room is even deeper, right? So it's one thing to be a contributor on that special teams unit, but if you can't make a cut as far as being a contributor on that in that wide receiver room, then it makes things tougher. And it also is what are you doing for me outside of that kind of thing?
Right. And you better start taking some balls to the house. Now, if you take a couple balls to the house, you got a spot. And it's always like how they could utilize guys. My thing is, if you're doing that and you put Xavier Worthy back there, you sure, we need a home run right now. Okay? We need the Joker to go hit his head on the goalpost. Give him a little space. And he's elusive. X is elusive enough to make guys miss. Once he gets in the wind, it's over. You cancel Christmas, baby. Ain't nobody running him down. I don't care who you got back there. Punter, forget it. Brashard Smith is another. I see it. I'm looking at his. He's another one.
Yep.
But you got to move up in the depth chart. That's how it is. That's how it works.
That's a good point.
So, yeah.
But between the two of them, Brashard Smith and Nico Remigio, who do you think has a leg up on? Obviously, both these guys have performed well in camp, but based on based on Brashard Smith's position in the running back room, and what he provides to that room, how different he is, and then you add in Remigio, what he can do, what he provides to that receiver room. Do you think Brashard Smith kind of has a little bit more of a leg up based on what he can do for our running back room?
That's a very good question, man. Because they both kind of right there on the cusp of are they going to be, not just a 53-man roster? Are they going to be able to travel too? Are they going to be the travel guys? And if Brashard Smith is showing the value and you can make a guy obsolete. You can take a position of doing that. That's a great thing about competition, man. It's good stuff. I can't wait to see this in camp. Let me put it that way. I'm writing this stuff down because I need to see this. These are some good battles right now. Special teams wise, some good battles. If you see X back there, you know what kind of direction they're going to be going.
Okay, so if we see X back there, what does that say about Brashard Smith and Nico Remigio? Do you think if we see X back there, is that worse for Nico than it is for Brashard Smith as far as making the team?
Yeah, because sometimes you might have Nico, you got to cover now. You got to do more than just that. You got to be able to cover and all those different things. But if they put X back there, he's taking reps from Nico Remigio. So,
yep.
Brashard Smith is, he's kind of he's a wide receiver. He's a running back.
He's got so many tools that he provides, which is why I think that he could be the happy medium, right? If you still want that burst, because Remigio's not fat, but he wasn't measured as a 4.3 guy, high speed guy. Even and Toub also mentioned, and if you watch this entire presser, he talked about kick return. And he talked about having a Brashard Smith and Carson Steele back there. He said you want to have a guy who's fast, like a Brashard Smith, and you also want to have a guy because someone mentioned having P. Ryan Steele back there last year. Because you want to have a guy who can block ahead of that fast guy, like a Brashard Smith type. So he mentioned him twice and talked about returns, which I think bodes well for Brashard Smith getting looks from him.
They're watching everything. They're watching it all, Marcus. And I'm telling you, they are taking notice. They're taking a tally on how guys are doing. So it's good. That's another good battle.
Yeah. Smith provides you a little bit of the happy medium, right? If you don't want to use X back there, okay, we'll put another fast guy back there. Put Brashard Smith back there if you want to have that speed. And there you go.
Yeah.
And you can utilize him at that all year long because he's not going to have a main role in the offense.
Right, because it goes into the battle now of, running back room. Seriously. So,
yeah,
it's good.
And special teams can be fun to watch. If people leave the room during special teams, no. You stick around and watch all special teams throughout the preseason, guys.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, so now we're gonna get to defense. So we know we love this rookie class. If you guys been watching our show all pre-draft season to now, you guys know that we're pretty good about calling out the draft. But hearing the DC GOAT Steve Spagnuolo talk about it and say it's a whole nother story. So Spags says this year's draft class, Norman Lott, Gelati, Williams, and Bossa, quote, all have football, get it. So high IQ guys. High praise from a guy who's not easy to impress. Here is Spags' full quote on the guys we brought in in this draft.
When all four of those guys kind of came in, and I was happy to get all four of them, I thought they were all similar in that when we evaluated them and talked with them, that they all have football, get it. They all love the game of football. I really like, I think Austin is a real good knee bender. I think Omar's got a lot of power to him. Jeff is a change of direction guy and really smart. And the rookie, I don't know if you guys noticed in the rookie minicamp, we put him at Mike linebacker. We knew he was going to be outside, but he learns the whole defense. Yeah, I thought he did a great job at that. And then we talk about Noel. So I'm hoping all those guys will help us. We'll see.
So we'll see. Is the big thing there, right? We need to see these guys actually tackle and do things. But JD, in your opinion, hearing Spags talk about these high IQ guys on defense, and we said that Spags is going to love this draft class because they went pretty heavy in defense in this draft. Do you think this rookie class is going to make an immediate impact as a whole, as far as the defensive guys, or is this going to be Spags' complex system going to kind of make things harder for even guys who are big football IQ guys like this?
No, I think these guys all will be contributors on our defense. Obviously, Lott and Ashton for sure. And then you talk about Bossa, Noel. They're going to be competing. And like you said, he gave Bossa, hey, man, getting reps at middle linebacker. So he's learning all the positions just in case something does happen, right? And things do happen because it's football. So get a guy prepared, get him ready. And, once you get ready, you just stay ready. Ain't no having to get ready now because you stay ready, you are ready to roll. But I love what he said there and said, these guys are all high IQ guys. That means that they're picking up the playbook, defensive playbook fairly fast. But also, too, I'm sure that they're really encouraging going out there and making plays. I think he sees the motive these guys have. And when you have pieces like this, you can't help but be happy, man. You can see the look on Spags' face, and he's just like, man, we got some really, really good dudes here. So
I gotta say, going into this, I know Tage was a big Bossa fan pre-draft, and then we all kind of were. You talked about his leadership stuff that he had at the Senior Bowl. Just hearing him speak, he sounded like a veteran. I remember you saying. That's one thing that kind of stood out to me during his presser because obviously we thought Gelati and Norman Lott, just because they rotate a lot on the defensive line, those guys would probably be the most instant impact guys. But then when you hear Spags talk about him, kind of how Boss is already impressed, kind of learning all the different roles in the linebacking room, which we thought he was gonna have to do anyway. But the fact he's coming out early on and doing that, I think that tells you that Bossa might be one of the guys that he might be more of an immediate impact than most of us, than a lot of us might think, comparatively to some of the other guys that we drafted.
More difficult for Bossa. More difficult for him because we got three really good linebackers that are solid. Okay. But the good thing about Bossa, he can play all three positions. If he needs to be Will, he needs to be Sam. If he needs to be Mike, sure. Okay. He's going to be great on special teams. The immediate impact of those guys is because Bossa is he's backing guys up. That's what he's doing this year. We know for a fact that that's going to be his role. you don't necessarily switch linebackers out because you don't need to. Those guys pretty much stay relatively in the game the entire time, unless something does happen to get hurt or something. Other than that, Bossa could come in. Now, we said this too. Third down, he could be a third down linebacker coming in to cover for sure. He could definitely do that. But I think his reps are going to be limited because we just have really good guys in front of him, man, that position. So what does that mean going forward, though? Boss is going to be, I would say, immediate impact going forward, Marcus. So maybe not this year, but we're going to have him here, you know what I mean, for a good 4 years to do what he's going to do. And we're going to be able to see that. So, but yeah, man, you needed a guy that's going to be that solid to put in, right? We had guys, Cochran and all those different guys come in and you know, they did a great job. But Boss is just a different guy altogether. So speedy, fast, like you said, you know, natural born leader. So we'll see it. We'll see it.
Yeah, I mean, God forbid we have the same issues we had with guarding tight ends and running backs last year. He might actually have even more of an immediate impact this year if it's because I mean if it gets to that, then because last year we didn't really have a guy who could come in and be that guy. We didn't have Willie Gay last year come in and do it. So if God forbid that does happen again this year, someone's rest might be getting pulled a little earlier in games. So you know what, Pasta, get in there. We need you because you're getting killed, you know, by the running back or tight end. I mean, because there's definitely potential of that. We saw last year kind of get dominated by those positions.
Yeah, and I could see probably in certain scenarios that you may take out Nick Bolton and put in Bossa. That's why he has to play Mike. Probably doing that on third down. See how he's going to do, right? Throw him out there, see what he can do. You got a lot of money tied up in Bolton now. You got paid like you should have. You know, we big Nick Bolton fans over here. So yeah, no, it's just you know, it's one of those things, man, when you had just a solid group like that you just know if somebody goes down, this guy right here can step in and not skip a beat. You're not gonna miss anything with this. So
yeah. And Bossa, I think we noted before in the show, Bossa had the most pre-draft interviews than any other player in this draft this past year.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of teams are intrigued to talk to him, and obviously we heard him speak. I mean, I'm sure they all wanted to kind of get to hear this guy that everyone heard at the Senior Bowl. But yeah, he had the most pre-draft visits than anybody.
So certain guys lights up the room with their personality and their character, and you could see that. You could see that the coach was like, "Hey, who we're going to look for to be the leader or the guy?" Right? Bossa steps immediately up. Coaches see it immediately, like, "Yeah, that's the Boss is the guy." He is. Like, you don't have to question what his role is going to be. He's not somebody who's going to sit back in and just kind of listen and stuff like that. He's a vocal guy. You could tell, high IQ, highly intelligent, you know, and that shines, that shows. So the coaches love that. I mean, shoot, they love it. And I'm not saying all the other guys, you know, shoot, but Boston just radiates off of him. So,
it's weird. It's weird that Bossa, hearing him speak, seeing obviously he's an athlete and seeing the way he played, the fact that he has that many pre-draft visits and he still lasted to us in round 5, that doesn't make much sense to me.
Man, you know, it's his size though. But you know, like, so it's your scheme, and you got to think about this. Yeah, I mean, it's just what teams want to be able to do with a guy. And you got to visualize him playing in your defense and how is he going to fit and all those different things. So they might have been like, man, we love him, but we're not in love with him, right? If we can get him later on, perfect. There might be some other guys fitted for what we want to do. Maybe some guys a little bit faster, some guys a little bit bigger, some guys a little bit stronger, some guys that may feel the hole a little bit better side to side. But Boss is as balanced as a guy that you can get, right? He's solid in all roles. Okay. That's the thing about him. And he does a great job in covering too, right? That's one of his strong suits. So he played some Mike linebacker, and they was like, well, he wasn't really sliding to play Mike. He had to because of injuries, which actually probably helped him a lot. Really.
Showed he can do it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
of the rookie guys, who do you think has the biggest impact year one?
Oh man, Marcus. If he starts and he's healthy, Josh Simmons, no doubt.
Oh wow! I was just talking about defense, but I mean, okay.
Oh, I was saying overall.
But yeah,
defensively,
I would love that if Josh Simmons is that guy. Yeah.
yeah. Defensively, oh man, it's gonna be tough between Gelati and probably Norman. Oh man. No Williams, man. You got some guys out there, boy. There's some boys out there, Marcus.
I know.
You got some dudes. You got some real dudes, man. We got some real dudes in the room. I love it. And I love because this is our future. We're sitting over in our future. So yeah, man, Norman. Yeah, so Will says Norman, man. He could, besides Chris, he could probably do some things, man. Makes things move. So
yeah, because he provides a different niche that the other DTs do not provide. So I think I'd probably lean Norman a lot. But again, if Gelati is doing what he did in college, getting the reps, to take it on the other side for a Karlaftis, of a man who's kind of spelled, or a man who goes inside, you put Gelati on the outside there, he could make some noise on the outside too. So I mean, they're gonna have Spags is gonna have real fun with these guys in the D line.
Yeah, and what I love about this depth is you keep guys fresh. You keep them fresh. You can take big fella out if you need to. Big fella don't have to play all the time, man. You've been wearing him down for the past 4 or 5 years because of the double and triple teams, everybody getting in. We just asking a lot of it. And rightly so. He could do it. He's shown to be doing it. But now you give him a little bit more rest so he can be more effective. So now you can put a lot and a Menahu and Pernell, you put all these guys right there and let them fly around, make plays. You know what I mean? So that's what we're looking for. That's what I'm looking for, seriously, in this, man. I'm so happy that we got the direction of going and get a lot. Man, we've been asking for this. We had. Yeah. We had Big Mike and those guys in there too. Young guys that's hungry. So, man, we shoot. Menahu all down the road, FAU, Kalofkis, man, we got some guys. Dana, we got some dudes, man.
Seriously, yeah. We haven't said Dana yet, and hopefully FAU takes a third-year leap. I mean, even if he takes an increase, that's huge for us. That's huge for this rotation we're talking about.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so. we finally got a defensive line we've been wanting for years. JD, we finally got it.
Right. I like the guys we had, but these guys they came here.
Seriously, this draft class might be a special one. Not because we called it, but just because the talent of these guys.
So we're gonna get a healthy, hungry Charles Menahu, okay, who's chasing the bag. He's chasing to tear it up. All right. He's coming to make a difference. We got Mike Pernell inside, okay, who's seen his value. The team has appreciated everything he's done. He's the elder statesman who is just as solid as you could possibly get, right? You got Chris Jones, who's just been a terror ever since he's been in the league, best at defensive tackle. I mean, you got George Kalofkis on the outside, who high motor has, shown that he's one of the top defensive ends in the league, getting after people, no quit, no give. And then you got Mike Dana, a guy that's about as solid as you could possibly get on the D-line. Versatile, can play outside and inside. You can put him at tackle or defensive end. You got now the young boys, the young guys, okay? Let's start with the guy that was already here, Fabian Lovett, right? Hungry guy. You can see it in his eyes. You know he's going to come out there and he's going to do everything he wants to do to get the job done. Norman Lott, okay, pass rush specialist, uses his hands well, stays low, can get off the blocks. He can take over that role that Turk just left in doing, right? Then Ashton Gelate, okay, looked like Thor out there. Gold coming out of his helmet. He's bringing and slanging the hammer coming in, man, making sure he's putting all the pressure on all these jokers, right? He's coming up from the outside, running them down for the other side of him and Kalafkas. FAU, I mean, yo, man, we are solid. We are solid on both sides of the line, man. Line are just going to make each other better. Our D-line is going to make our offensive line better. Offensive line is going to make our D-line better. We should have the top offensive and defensive lines in the league. And I would be absolutely shocked if we didn't. Seriously.
Yeah, and our D-line will make our DBs better, too.
Oh, shoot.
They'll make life easier for those guys.
Oh, man, hold on. Hey, man, they're like, yo, hey, man, we appreciate y'all so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a very good season for the defensive line. I'm really excited. Honestly, FAU's probably I'm most excited about seeing FAU. I really hope the third year it all kind of clicks for him because if it clicks for him, a guy who's a first round pick who has not been playing like a first round pick for the last 2 years, he finally clicks with Gelati, with Karlaftis, with all these guys you mentioned. That's scary. I mean, it should be scary anyways, but if it finally clicks for him, wow.
Man, look. And seeing a guy come in at your position does something, spurs something inside of you, right? A fire saying, look, man, these jokers either get tired of me or they think I'm not getting the job done and bringing other people in. And something you got to say to yourself, you got to be looking at the man in the mirror saying, what am I not doing? And what I need to do to get there and where I need to go. That's how it is. That's the competition, man, in football. You love for guys. You push for each and every guy that's out there. You're motivated by that. But that also motivates you to get your job done. My brother said this earlier today, man. He was sitting there saying, tighten up. Tighten up, baby. Tighten up. Get your stuff in order.
Rich Cooper says, competition is awesome. Heat and pressure make diamonds.
Yes, sir. I'm already getting hyped just thinking about it.
I know.
I'm looking over the camera like, yeah, baby, we out here. Let's go. Come on. Who got it better than we got it? Nobody.
All right, we're gonna end the show on a veteran. So we talked about the rookies ad nauseum a little bit here. So DB's coach Dave Merritt just said Bryan Cook is, quote, ready to be the captain of the defense. Coming off a career best year, 78 tackles, Cook steps into the Justin Reid old role. And, of course, it's also a contract year, which we know contract years are generally undefeated. Listen to what Dave Merritt had to say on Bryan Cook. Sorry.
I thought he actually came back great. I mean, you would not have ever even known that the kid had something wrong with his ankle, and he never complained. He never missed a rep, and so I don't think that was an issue at all. I think B. Cook is in a position right now whereas he has an opportunity to step up and be the captain of the defense and be the leader, as was asked a little earlier. And Bryan is a vocal guy for sure, and so, but I think, you know, as far as you look back and you think about some of the injuries that some of our guys have had, I don't think that hindered him at all coming into this past season.
So, JD, based on what you've seen from Bryan Cook and based on what we heard from our DB's coach, Dave Merritt, right there, do you think Cook has what it takes to seize the mantle as Casey's vocal leader in 2025? Or will the secondary kind of lean on the veteran guys like the Deion Bushes of the world, the Mike Edwardses of the world, and kind of let Cook kind of focus on his production?
I think Mike Cook, man, is a firecracker out there. That's what Dave Merritt is saying. He's sitting there saying like he's very pleased in what he sees. And the guy's just taking the mantle. Justin Reid is out of here. He's gone, right? He's in New Orleans. Okay, he's not coming back. And so somebody had to step up to the plate. And Bryan Cook saying, I'm the guy that's been here. I'm the dude that everybody relied on. He's the guy that I want us to draft. Remember, I was talking about Bryan Cook out of college. And this is exactly what it gives to you. Now, he had the injury which slowed him down. Okay, that was visible. We've seen that. But if you sit there saying he is back to where he needed to be when he first came in first year, older, smarter, more experienced, more understanding, taking that role, I like it. I love it. I absolutely love this. This is exactly what I needed to hear. You know, what a guy sitting there saying, man, put it all on my shoulders. That's what you do. There's a lot of talent in this room, but daggone it, let me handle it. I'll take it, coach. I'll do it. Matter of fact, they got, like I said, you're gonna ask for a guy. Bryan Cook stands up. That's what he does. So I love this. And so if he's physically back to where he needs to be and injuries is gone and there's no, any type of ramifications from this, he's going to shoot. I love it, man. I love it. So I mean, Mike Edwards he's gonna say what he needs to say. He's gonna do what he needs to do. Everybody can still listen to Mike. Mike is not. I don't see him as being a vocal guy. He'll say what he needs to say. When Mike says something, everybody gonna listen. You best believe it. And Mike can be out there like, "Hey, man, you need," and everybody gonna turn like, "Yep, there's the wisdom talking." And Cook's gonna bring the fire. And Hicks and all of them. Man, come on, man.
And also, I think one of the things that kind of says a lot about how the Chiefs do feel about Bryan Cook is it's one of the positions they didn't really. They added Mike Edwards like a couple weeks ago, right? I mean, way after the free agency and all that stuff, and after the draft, they brought in our guy Major. That was pretty much the only safety they brought in. So like that safety room is pretty much like saying, hey, like Bryan Cook, this is you're the guy replacing Justin Reid. Jaden Hicks, we're expecting you to be a second year, maybe take a leap here and get more of a bigger role. But like, I remember last year, they going into the year, I remember they Spags had made a quote saying that he had not just Bryan Cook's going to be the quarterback of the secondary. And I thought that was an interesting quote. That was last year when we still had Justin Reid. Now this year, I mean, we're talking about him making the leap to be the leader of the defense or the leader on the secondary and whatnot. I think it just speaks how the Chiefs feel about him is the fact they didn't bring anybody in to kind of compete with him. It's like, hey, this is your secondary. This is your job. Do your thing.
Yeah, but we got boatload of safeties too. We do. There's still gonna be some competition out there. I know we was talking about guys showing out. Who's coming in, but like you said, this is his position. To go ahead and wield the sword like he wants to. I don't think they have any problem with that. None whatsoever. And he's just got to command the cover, the coverage defense. That's what he's doing. He's covering out the coverage. He's calling all out what we need to do where everybody needs to be. And when they see a guy can handle those things like that, they're very comfortable with it. That's why, like Hicks is a young, a lot of things. Yeah, he's gonna hit everything moving. But if you had to still put him in place, like, hey man, Hicks, come over here because Hicks likes to chase. He sees something, he's gonna go. He's gonna go get it. So sometimes you gotta pull him back, hold him up a little bit, like, hey man, like just be patient, let it come to you. So. That's what it is. Barbershop said, only flaw I seen with Cook is his struggle to get his hips turned around. Yeah, you know what? I think part of it had to do with his injury too. He's a good safety. Barbershop. He's a good safety. Like I said, I see that, the ability when he came out of college. And the injury was like one of those things. So if that's not hindering him, if that doesn't take away from his ability to open his hips and stuff, he should be fine. And daggone it, man. Shoot, if you, as a safety, hopefully you ain't open up your hips too much.
For real.
That's a bad deal. And you open shoot, you get beat. Ain't nothing supposed to get past you, man. You should be in your back pedal the whole time. Like keep everything in front of you. Shoot, that's what you need to do. You open your hips up. Okay, I get run with them, but daggone, That sucker get on top of you. You got to open your hips to run. That's a bad deal for any safety. So.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. We do have a deep safety room. Hicks, Edwards, Chamari Connor. Which some people in the chat saying that they hope Chamari Connor plays more safety this year, not playing one-on-one man coverage out there in the slot like he did last year a few times against he got cooked by what's his name, the little white receiver from the Chargers. McConkey. Yeah.
McConkey.
Yeah. I don't want to see that next year.
Yeah. So Matthew Crespo, JD as an average sports fan, do you think could have possibly been Mr. Floyd? So this is Stu asking these questions, and Matthew, don't do Stu's dirty work, okay? I see you asking. You asked if what's the name of it? If Baker or Mahomes is better. I can't believe you asked that question. Can't believe you asked that question.
I mean, in college it was awesome.
Yeah. So, but that going to the other question, man. Florida's filled with athletes. They are. Hey, look, but I can hold my own. That's one thing, that's for sure. So, but Florida's filled with athletes, boy. That's top of the top. Some good ones. Yeah. Let me see. Chiefs fitted. Man, this has me pumped up for training camp now. Can't wait to see these guys start taking their new roles and see the growth from the team. Revenge on our mind. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Chiefs fitted. No doubt about it, brother. I mean, we should enjoy training camp and just take it all in and just watch the competition. The guys just get better every single day. And then when they get back to, man, we start doing the cut downs. That's when they start doing that, it's like, oh my gosh, who are they going to keep? Who's showing up? I think it might be the hardest job is who you going to keep on this roster. There's certain positions, really. And I said this. I said, there's going to be some hurt feelings. It's going to be some hurt feelings, Marcus. There's going to be some changes for sure.
Yeah, and the way they've done it now where, you can wait till the last possible week to cut down your roster to the 53-man. It's not like stages anymore. Yeah, it is interesting because every week it's a different amount of guys we're getting cut because there's no, certain set stage anymore. So, I think we've done a pretty good job of kind of keeping the same. There's we have a different amount of guys we cut down. But some teams, I think, have waited to the final stage to cut down to 53, which I think is it's a lot because you're cutting 37 guys right there.
Yeah. KC Colossus said, man, it's hard. Yeah, I'm trying to do a cut down, but it's hard. It's hard, brother. I'm telling you. I went through. I did the offense, and I got to 26 and 27. If we did that, and just you start looking at other one, I'm like, but daggone, what are we going? What else we going? That's tough. That's tough, man. That is tough. To tomorrow's media day OTAs. Okay, yeah, some guys gonna have a good time.
We'll get some sound bites for next week's show.
Jamie German was Mr. Football for Florida in '92. He had a good career.
Not bad.
Yeah. 21 cuts to be made to give us a 53 with 16.
On practice squad. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, the ones we talked about tonight, the punt, I think the punting one isn't really getting a lot of play because, of course, it's not a sexy position. But nonetheless, I think that's one that's going to be very, very intriguing. Of course, we all know our punter's name, so it's a big one. It's a big one.
Yeah.
But all right, guys. Well, that does it for us on this Wednesday evening, about 1 hour and 40 minutes into the episode. We hope you guys enjoyed it. We always love chatting with you guys and hearing all of your comments. Yeah, and I know everyone said, JD, they were happy that you were on bourbon today. They like you on. They like JD with bourbon in them.
And look, I love. I'm in Kentucky. Bourbon runs through my veins. I don't really drink it anymore, but I stay on bourbon. That's what it is. So I stay pumped. That's just who I am. I like it. I love it. I love having these conversations and talking. So, a little nip don't hurt. Yeah. I forgot that. I had a little sips earlier. That was gone, shoot. So, but now, Hey, look, appreciate each and every one of y'all. We had some fun conversations. Look, that's why you need to tell your friends, come on over here, man, and have a good time. Laugh it up with me and Marcus, okay, and Tage when he comes on. And our guests. We have a good time over here, man. And so we always do. So listen, y'all take care. Okay, we love you. I'm gonna give my rundown to you guys right now to talk about it. Look, Stu, get healthier, right? Praying for you. Also, Neff, praying for you, getting healthier as well. And everybody else out here, that needs is just thinking about y'all. Y'all just take care of one another. But like I said, man, we always gonna hold each other up. So
Always.
So good talking to you guys, man. Hanging out with you, like you said. So Linda Hunter, Joe C, Sasha, Andre Chenault, G Pick, Matthew Crespo. Good to see you, Matthew, coming in. First time watching, man. Don't let that be your last. Justin The Way, Tim McBride, Sasha's JCP 4000. Sarah 071, Nana Sherry. Thank you, Nana Sherry. Stanley Mooney, my guy. Good to see you, Stanley. Rich Cooper. I had some Fireball myself. Okay. That'll warm your chest up. Fireball. Chiefs fitted.
The worst. I was playing a drinking game one time, and I forget which game it was, but essentially, if you were the last person, if you get, it was a stack cup. I was the last person. And I thought it was like a hard seltzer in the middle. You have to chug the last one. It's filled all the way to the top, but it had like kind of a weird tint to it. And I was like, "What's that?" I was like, that's not a seltzer. I would know a hard seltzer. It's clear.
Yeah.
But I ended up taking a giant chug just to chug it down. Someone put like that much of Fireball in it. I instantly threw up.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, that'll do the trick, man.
Oh man.
Yeah, at a certain point, man, you doing Fireball, you had to ask yourself why, so.
I don't know why I was there, honestly.
It's all right. So, all right. So, yeah, Fireballs, if you like it, man, all right, have a good time with it. Be responsible with it, okay? JCP 4000, I said already. Joe C. Deshaun Hammers, what's up, man? Good to see you, Deshaun. You making sure you tell John, okay, you're supposed to holler at me sometime, all right? IZH is 3131. Good to see you as well. Let me see who else we got here. Casey Colossus, good to see you. Will is in here. Appreciate you, Will. Who at the barbershop came through late and threw it out here. Appreciate your barbershop. Thank you, sir. Let me see who else we got in here.
Nana Shara, we got 2 subscribers during the episode. 2 new subscribers. So we're at 71 now. 71 to 10,000, guys.
71. Let's go. That's good. See, I don't have that information. Witchy Hall, good to see you, Witchy. Thank you so much, Witchy, for all you say. Mike Brennan, my guy. Good to see you, Mike. Who else we got in here? I see Justin Blackwell. Good to see you too, Justin Blackwell. Depono, I don't think Cherry Kubik. Oh, yeah, Cherry. Good to see you, Cherry. We haven't seen you in a while, so always good to be here live. I'm glad you came in. Hannah was in here as well. Seen Hannah. Trying to think of some names I remember just looking at. Let me see. Neff was in here. Neff, good hollering at you. I'm going to talk to you, give you a shout after this as well. Great share, Marcus JD. Appreciate you, Neff. Love you. Love you, Neff. Sweetie was in here. Hearts and Roses is in here. Hearts and Roses always got our back. Like Nana Sherry. I love our people, man. Folks, man, they hold us down. That's for daggone sure. That's what we love about it. We love y'all for everything that y'all do for us.
100%.
Yeah, definitely. Let me see who else we got in here. Laura Zingzer was in here as well. Stu, just want to say your name again, Stu. Stu, get better, brother. Okay? Get better, man. All right. Yeah, some of the folks, man, we did retired. Retired, say he came in late. Retired. Shouting at you, Sarah 071 and Sasha. I like saying, their names as well. I think it's about it, man. Can't think who else. Pono Kawhi came in. Pono was in here? Yeah. Okay. Hippie Cypriot, Malibu Stew. That's it, Malibu Stew. Belly Matrix is in the house. So Malibu Stew tells me, man, you used to have the long flowing hair back here, man, and it was in locks, curls, like a Billy Ray Cyrus back in the day. Ain't can't break your heart. Oh man. Listen, John Clifford. Look at John. John was in here, man. So yeah. Hey, listen. Well, listen, thank you all. Appreciate it so much. And then ran it down. If I get to say your name, you know how I feel about you anyway. Hey, y'all take care of each other. Cordell Robinson. Cordell, just saw you here, brother. Good to see you, my guy. All right. I think it's about it. Marcus, man, appreciate it, my brother. Love you. Listen, y'all take care of each other. Y'all holler at us next week. We will see you all. Be good to each other the way we're supposed to be good to each other, man. Love each other the way you're supposed to, okay? It's been crazy out here in this world, man, so we need to do a much better job of doing those things, treating each other fairly and rightly, the way that we should, okay? Hey, man, we love you guys. Y'all take care. We will see y'all later. Y'all be good, okay? God bless. We'll see you. Marcus,
love y'all.
Brother, all right?
Love you, brother. Love y'all. See you guys Monday. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Monday. The Bourbon State. Kentucky. Get you a sip. We'll see y'all later.
See everybody. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.